Welcome, boys and ladies, to yet another installment of the wide-ranging hit and hip internet podcast, Spam and Eggs, of course. I'm your host, Uncle D-Top, otherwise known as Sensei. I'll be guiding you through this whole shebang, really, right? Peaks and rivers, mountains and such. Certain roadblocks and detours are in our near future, but we'll find our way out of them. If you've tuned in before, then you're already Musubi, right? You know what's up. If it's your first time, you'll learn you might have to approach this podcast with a sort of choose your own adventure mentality, meaning you kind of decide what a lot of this means, if anything. So I want to share a little something new. Obviously, the studio has undergone somewhat of a facelift. We've got posters you can look at for yourself. The themes seem to be chess, ladies, smoking, and aliens. And of course, the backdrop matches the floors, which you wouldn't know. And why would you care? The backdrop also is extremely sticky, and I'm afraid that it'll rip off the paint when we move, but we'll cross that bridge when it comes. Atop the sticky backdrop is a new addition to our studio/bedroom wall. This is our Dojo-kun. What is a Dojo-kun? Okay, so I used to do karate, aka karate. And when people asked what kind of style I studied, like it's a gang or like a platoon, I always say there's only one platoon, and it's Shotokan, right? Okinawa, South Side. I feel like anytime you meet someone that did Shotokan as well, there's a weird kind of kinship, you know what I mean? And it's cool. You like karate chop each other like behind closed doors and stuff. You get your tips a little touched. It's nice. Anyway, when I was in karate, we started class every day the same way. We'd bow onto the floor, no socks. We'd bow just to the waist, sort of like a curtsy for warriors. And then we'd stand in a line and we would recite the Dojo-kun. And it's sort of like something to establish intention. And like I said earlier, get your wieners a little pumped up. So, and then we began our class. The reason I have it here is because, as you know, this is a dojo. And when you hop onto the Spam and Eggs podcast, you sort of bow onto the floor. I like to think my listeners are ready to change their minds and their bodies. The viewers? I'm not sure yet. That audience doesn't exist. It's cool. Things will catch on. It's whatever. But the listenership is good. This isn't really so much a class as it is so much a hall meeting where no one lives in the town. And there's only one keynote speaker, aka elocutionist. There's a $4 word right there, man. But in the spirit of general Japanese togetherness, in unison. Seek perfection of character, be faithful in your studies, endeavor to excel, respect others, refrain from violent behavior, and stop vaping if you wanna, is a new one there. That's my own personal touch. That's the Dojo-kun. And I didn't think about this until just now, but maybe you can't even read it, and that would be upsetting. But the real ones know about the Dojo-kun. Like I said, if you don't know the Dojo-kun already, you're still real. It's not that you're not real, it's just that you're not extra real yet. Right? Don't get it twisted. Because the thing about the Dojo-kun is once you know it, you sort of become extra real. It's like automatic. There's no confirmation codes, no emails, no lists. There's no waiting around. You will learn the Dojo-kun, be able to recite that shit, and you evolve into extra real. And then you're in the club, dude. Not dissimilar from like the 2 girls 1 cup club, which after this long is a hacky reference for sure. But if you've seen 10 frames of that video, you're in the club. You get the 2 girls 1 cup badge, and then it becomes your life's journey to like convince other people to join the club, even though you don't want to be in that club yourself. If you know the Dojo-kun, you're in this club. And we're happy to have you. What I would like to do for the listeners when they get extra real, when you get extra real, dude, is I want to get an actual badge. Like a badge of musubi. A Dojo-kun badge. The problem is Dojo-kun is actually a karate thing, and like, so you should probably do a belt, but you can't just walk around with a karate belt on. Otherwise you're an asshole. So then they'll like ask, what is that for? And then you'll say the Spam and Eggs podcast, and they'll be like, okay, cool. Like I would never. And we want the opposite thing. So badge it is. We're going to do the badge. What's the badge for? It's so that when you walk into a place, people know what you're all about. They know that you're about the musubi life. And people want to see what it's all about, dude. And that's how we want to spread awareness of the musubi life. We show them what it means to be musubi just by wearing the badge. And they'll just watch us. They'll be like, man, that's cool. He must know the Dojo-kun. She must know the Dojo-kun. They must know the Dojo-kun. Because we have everyone, dude. It's crazy. We're just popping off with the memberships. And people ask me like, okay, where should I wear the badge? And I'll tell them, dude. Grocery stores. Container stores. Department stores. The gym. Church. Little siblings baseball games, right? Pharmacies. Don't go to church with it on. I don't want this to become a church thing. But we have our conventions, right? Dude, we have Spam and Eggs conventions. I don't know if you guys know that, but we had them last year. Our first one. It was crazy, dude. We had to shut it down. But you show the badge at the door, and whatever you need. This is how I envision it. You show the badge at the door, dude. Whatever you need, consider it done. That's the way it works. That's what it means to be musubi. If you're a pizza girl or a sandwich maker or a guy who smells like peppers, you come to a Spam and Eggs convention and you come correct with your musubi badge on, dude, with your badge on display, I'll smack someone around if you ask me to. If you're musubi, dude, that's the SNE guarantee. You might as well be a celebrity. We had Jenna Ortega come to the last one, right? Which is true. Jenna Ortega tries to celebrity her way into the front of the line with no musubi badge. And she doesn't know because she's not musubi yet, right? I got a special badge for Jenna Ortega if she wants to join the club. And the thing about Jenna Ortega is if she wants to come into the convention, I'll probably let her in, but she's got to be nice to me and say hello. Otherwise, she's out of here. Okay. So we've put the musubi badge out into the existence, into the universe, right? And so we'll get them going as soon as people start to watch these fucking videos, right? Instead of just listening on Spotify. Thank you still, right, for listening on Spotify. Thanks for tuning in for the audio experience. But you got to watch the videos too, right? Because they'll catch on like wildfire. And also, your boy's good with the edits. I know it's hard to sit down and watch a podcast, especially since you don't know the guy. You'd never seen him anywhere. And because everything else exists. But when you watch my podcast, you will have seen me somewhere. And that fixes that, dude. And you become Musubi. You become it. Right now, people don't know about the Musubi life, dude. And it's all good. We're just setting the foundation right now. Thanks for coming. But when the masses become Musubi, it's game over. Shut it down. That's what I've been trying to tell you, dude. We've done studies. We've done simulations. We've got pamphlets on the shit. Experts say when the masses ascend to Musubi levels, it's game over, is what scientists say. And I was like, can you expound upon that? And they were like, no, it's game over. So I was like, shit, I guess it's game over, right? So when it's time, dude, I'm making merch that's as fresh as you deserve. Everyone's got the shirts, everyone's got the sweaters and the coffee mugs, right? Little trinkets. What's that other T word for garbage? Not trash. Tchotchkes. I don't know if that's a T. Maybe it's one of those that starts with it. We're obviously going to have t-shirts. You got to have a t-shirt. Papoose Goose t-shirt. Musubi badges. We talked about that. Chain wallets. Temporary tattoos. And various other tchotchkes, right? My brother Jordan, who makes clothes and for Lenny Kravitz, which is not a bit. I think I talked about that. I'll buy some of his stuff off of his store, and I'll put his merch on my store. And we'll stick it on here, dude. We'll be looking so fresh. It'll be unbelievable. I hope these levels are good. My point is, how long... Oh, it did get louder. Oh, your boy was too quiet this entire time. How long before the Musubi wave gets to Lenny Kravitz? I should cancel my open mic. I'm going to cancel my open mic. This is going to take too long. I've got way too many things to talk about. I can't do... I might have to go to the open mic. It's 5 o'clock. I mean, it's 2 o'clock. And if you know Fourth Wall, dude, you got to cancel 3 hours ahead of time. And if you don't, it's $5. So you might as well do the open mic.
Heckling Osama. I thought it'd be great if heckling Osama, if after the first tower, you were like, bet you won't again. Ah, fuck.
Oh, it let me do it. Yes, don't have to do it. I'll do the later one. That was too long of a break. How long till the Musubi wave hits Lenny Kravitz? And then Lenny Kravitz is Musubi, dude? Imagine Lenny Kravitz becoming Musubi. All you got to do is check out the videos, dude. That's all you got to do. Check out the videos. Fucking put him out there until Lenny Kravitz himself becomes Musubi. All right. That was a lot of house cleaning. But now that we're on the same page, what else? Okay. I got to tell you. I went to Hawaii with the old lady. or as Andrew Santino calls his wife, I don't have a wife, but calls his wife the old bag. I like that. I went to Hawaii for a week with my old bag to see my brother. Now, we went to Oahu, but I'm going to keep saying Hawaii. That's the first thing about Hawaii. Some people get like upset. Like, you went to Hawaii? Which island? And you're like, Oahu. And they go like, oh, so not Hawaii. And it's like, dude, if you knew were two different things, why would you ask, did I go to Hawaii? And then I said yes. Just assume I went to Hawaii. Don't ask which island. This is why this is good, because I'm going to go to an open mic after this and you get all the bullshit out, dude. Do you know what I mean? I'm just going to keep saying Hawaii. That's the first thing about Hawaii. The second thing is they've got it all figured out over there, dude. It's incredible. It's beautiful. Obviously. Nani. Nani means beautiful. Oh. But never mind that it's Nani, right? Everyone knows that Hawaii is Nani. And here at the Spam and Eggs podcast, dude, we only tell you things that you didn't need to know. Number one thing. There's a shore that the ebb current, the water that flows back out, right, will knock you straight on your bottom for real. I think it was the North Shore. In fact, it was. But heaven on earth will it make you feel small, right? I went in first. I went into the ocean first. I told Rachel, stand back. She was like, let's go in together. And I was like, hell no. Right? It's one of us or none of us. So I chose me to sort of like test the danger. You know what I mean? You got to, because oceans are deceptively strong. People don't think that, but they are. It's easy to underestimate the sea. Right? Especially for girls. And it was and it was tough. Imagine just scrolling past this and you're like, oh, this is cool. Imagine thinking that first, right? Oh, this is cool. And then going like, oh, he doesn't like girls. Girls are fine. The ocean. It was tough for me even, dude. And I lift heavy in the gym. I lift heavy. I'm pushing serious weight all across the gym floors, dude. I'm bumping into people, knocking them over. So even I was like giving the ocean a run for its money, but I was still like, Jesus, this is very crazy. It's too strong. And there are like no signs. There are no signs that say this ocean is too strong, even if you lift heavy, right? But it's different because like beaches in California they have very strong waves. It's still the ocean. You can't forget about that. But by the time the waves come to shore, it's very tame. I'll smack an ocean around, dude, here in Cali. Especially when there are like, chicks around. Short for chickens. That was a thing in hip hop for a long time, to call chicks chickens. Even chicks is weird, but chickens is bananas. Okay. North Shore waves are also strong, but the tide going out, ebb, is straight up enough to knock you on your ass and snap a leg in two in one fluid motion. I watched it happen to a little girl and I was like, oh, she's fucked. And she just floated out, dude. But you play it off, dude. You play it off so you look like a hero for your girl and other chickens. And it was funny because Rachel was on the beach. She was like safe and sound, just like I left her. And she goes like, "Is it good? Should I wait more or should I come in?" Why do I make Rachel sound like that? Right? And you got to be like, no, you know, I'm built for the sea. This is, it's hard for you, but you're not going to say it's hard for you because you lift a lot and you push around weight and you knock people over at the gym. But like, you go like, it's a lot. I'm warning you, you know, take your life into your own hands. I'll protect you from the ocean, but it's very crazy out here. And then you go, on second thought, stay here for 20 more minutes. I'm going to go get my fucking ass kicked a little while longer. I'll wear out the ocean. And then by the time you get in, I will have worn out the ocean. Turns out she got in up to her knees, walked right out. And so I was like, well, why even go to Hawaii? Number 2 thing about Hawaii is the disposition of pretty much everyone is equal parts contagious and genuine. People are just genuinely welcoming and lovely. And the thought of being lovely anywhere takes a while to reconcile, coming from a place as generally awful and shitty as Los Angeles. I snapped into vacation mode pretty much immediately because, you know, I was excited to be in Hawaii, to see my brother, to be with my girlfriend. But so I was in vacation mode easy. But I could see being slightly perturbed, another $4 word, by how pleasant and relaxed other people are, the locals specifically, because obviously tourists, they're on vacation, dude, you know, of course they're happy. The locals have me befuddled because while living in a place that is so beautiful, Nani, right? We're learning. Endeavor to excel, be faithful to your studies. That's what we're doing here. We're learning. While living in a place that's so beautiful, the minimum wage, and I looked this up, is $14 an hour, which after taxes is essentially $0 an hour. So, how can you be happy making $0 an hour? Also, there doesn't seem to be that much industry opportunity in Hawaii. It's basically all just hospitality. Yet the locals are smiling. I didn't like that. The locals are just burped. The locals are smiling. And they mean it, right? That's all the locals seem to do there is smile. Just like they're not real people. I know they got stuff going on, but they're in Hawaii, dude. It's crazy. Where I'm getting with this ultimately is if someone is smiling in LA or in the Valley, there's a good chance they're either on drugs or they're about to be. Right? You got to be ready for some drugs in LA. Not to do them, but you got to be able to run around, you know? You got to be ready you got to be ready for what, you know? You might be thinking, if you've never lived here, anything. You got to be ready for anything. Think of a thing. That's what you got to be ready for. You know what I mean? LA is something, dude. Everyone is like just a little extra dead inside here. Speaking of dead inside, we'll get back to Hawaii in a second, and this will only take a second. You got to roll with it, right? Like I said, choose your own adventure.
Choose your own adventure mentality.
In my circle and similar ones, a real degree of self-obsession seems to be a common thread in anyone who makes a go at stand-up. In other fields too, probably, but especially like stand-ups can be especially lousy at finding any sort of balance in their life. The prospect of making any sort of living at this is a daunting one, and that's why it can be so stressful, right? Since there's so few of us making money at my level, basically none, which why would we be rich 3 years in? But most of us wouldn't so much as piss in a person's direction until we heard that person got another guy some kind of a deal. And that's not everyone, but it's also not no one. It's a lot of us, dude. It's not what good people generally do. I think that we should piss in all sorts of directions. Right? I think anyone with a heart and a story and a cup deserves a little piss from all of us. Just a little dribble, dude. And if it... I don't know. Sometimes you say things and you're like, yeah, but what if all of these other things? If that's the case, we should be pissing all over the place, right? And the problem is, you only got so much piss. So what are you going to do? You know? You only got you got a tiny amount of piss in the grand scheme of things, dude. Here's the shit, too. There's unlimited cups. What if you piss in one guy's cup and he just knocks it fucking over? You could have pissed in another cup. And that's okay. It's a lesson learned. Right? One step closer to learning which kinds of cups you want to piss in. But if you're just pissing in all kinds of cups in all sorts of directions, and there's no apparent sort of like focus in the cups you choose, you'll never fill a cup. And I've always said that. You guys know this, just some daily bread, right? Like I said, choose your own adventure. That sounded bitter. That sounded bitter. Someone's turning 30, dude. Shit. Sometimes I sit here and I think, I'm just recording these podcasts and I can't help but go like, God, I wonder who's going to listen to all this. You know what I mean? Whoever you are, I'll piss in your cup. You know? And I hope you piss in mine. All right, fucking Jesus. Hawaii. How does this relate to Hawaii? They seem to be pissing in the right cups. I don't know if all of that groundwork was necessary to get where we just landed, but here we are. Okay. Assuming that people are, in fact, pissing in the right cups in Hawaii and are, in fact, generally happier there and make so little money, how could that be? Here's what I've worked out. Special thanks to my brother Daniel for helping me see this maybe a little more clearly, right? He's lived there for a little bit. Hawaii is a group of islands, geography, where very little seems to be happening. Sociology. Also, it's expensive to live there. Finance. Dude. Ugh. Your boy's impressive. Just a regular professor. So you are, in one sense, paying a lot for a little. Now, paying a lot for a little is not foreign to most of you. Everything's expensive, okay? But you have to assume that the people living in Hawaii, essentially stuck at sea, know that they can leave. And they don't. So, knowing that, they must really like what is going on, which is not a lot. It's mostly just a beautiful place with beautiful people. That's all that's going on in Hawaii. And that's either enough or it isn't. If it's enough, you stay. If it's not, you get the hell out of there, right? So the people who stay, the goal is to just be where they are. But I have to stress this because there's a practical component here that you cannot fucking deny. The minimum wage is $14 an hour. Now, you might remember from economics, well, things should be cheaper then. No. Dude, Rachel and I paid $33 for 2 acai bowls, which is 2.5 hours of work at $14 an hour, which is not how I remember econ. They have taxes, right, in Hawaii? You gotta pay taxes. So yeah, about 2.5 hours of work after taxes. Most of them work, honestly, like 3 14.5 hour jobs. 3 14-hour jobs just to stay there. Many of them have been doing it for years. Since there's not much time left to do other stuff outside of work, they must be doing it because it's worth it to them, right? Because once rent is paid, the goal is achieved. They did the thing that they set out to do. Barely afford to live in Hawaii. But at least it's real. At least it's tangible. If you live in Hawaii, proof of concept, dude. You're in Hawaii. It's equal parts paradise and not imaginary. On the mainland, on the other hand, namely places like Los Angeles, the goal on top of surviving rent in LA as an artist has to be literally to get famous.
What's good, bitch? You know what it is.
It's not the goal, right? You want to be good at the thing you do, hopefully. Can't be just to get famous. But getting for a goal to get famous, it's about as imaginary as it gets. You must get famous doing this. Otherwise, you're just going to open mics for fun, which, who the fuck is doing that? Go to an open mic, dude. Just a person who has never seen live stand-up. Go to an open mic. God. I hope I'm getting the point across here. Ideally, you're working on your shit to hedge your bets as best as you can by getting better consistently. And because it's not going to happen by accident. But there's a lot of maybes, dude. There's always a lot of maybes. It's a lot of guesswork. It's a lot of maybes that come into play. And any sensible person is going to spend some amount of time wondering, Am I fucking crazy? I hate that I keep burping. I hope that's not what 30 is. You pay for Hawaii because it's gorgeous and it makes you feel good right now, right? You pay for LA because you might get famous one day, maybe. What are you, nuts? Which sounds awfully reductive, right? I'm not saying I haven't met great people here. I'm also not saying that I don't understand chasing these things. I moved here as well, right? What I am saying is make the minimum wage $14 an hour in LA, and in 6 minutes we'll set fire to a medical center. Hopefully some of this means something to someone for some reason someday. Until then, what else? Dude, people drive slow as shit in Oahu, huh? Don't get me wrong, you don't mind so much when everything's nani. Beautiful. Remember, we're learning. Be faithful in your studies. But the speed limit on some of these freeways is 60 miles per hour. Some of the freeways. On other freeways, it's 50. And that's not fast enough. Freeway speed limits are the absolute limit in Hawaii. If the speed limit is 50, you better not go 50. And at a certain point, it's like, why even drive? You know what I mean? I saw maybe 2 cars go faster than that, and they were both Teslas. And I was like, you know, on one hand, of course it's Teslas, right? Some things are just the same everywhere. On the other hand, I was like, thank God, right? Someone's got somewhere to be. Another thing that's shocking is the honking in Hawaii. No one honks, dude. No one honks. The traffic really gave me a run for my money, man. I tried to wrap my head around this. I'm not fucking around here. I was there for whatever, 6 nights and 7 days. 6 nights and 7 days in Hawaii. I heard 1 honk. I heard 1 honk. One Hawaiian honk in 6 nights and 7 days. If I say anything this whole episode that you can take to the bank, dude, it's that in 6 nights and 7 days, there was 1 Hawaiian honk. And it was an ambulance. It was a Tesla. Yeah. But everyone is just so nice there. It's like kind of overwhelming. Like, dude, I'll give you $40 and a lap dance if you can get 1 single local to honk at you for any reason whatsoever. Everyone is so courteous. You need a lane change, dude, in Hawaii. They'll let you in front of them and they'll wish you well. That's how chill Hawaii is, dude. Cut someone off in Hawaii, they'll wish you fucking big waves and free gas, is how courteous everyone is in Hawaii. I know I keep comparing LA and Hawaii, which isn't fair, but lane change in LA and you'll get shot by the police. Do you know what I mean? I was thinking about this too. Okay. Here's how nice Hawaii is. This is how you know Hawaii is really magic and that there are, in fact, magical places. Hawaii is extremely nice and you are not the only visitor. This whole episode I've been talking about how nice Hawaii is, and you are not the only visitor. Which is to say, some of the same dickheads in traffic on the way to the airport in LA who cut you off and told you to die are now in Hawaii with you. And are now courteous drivers. They're holding doors and blowing kisses. Because everyone else is, right? That's what Hawaii is. If you've never been to Hawaii, go to Hawaii, dude. See for yourself. It's free. I've got notes. Dude. I told a friend we were going to Oahu, and Jacob of Northridge is his name. I hope you see this, Jacob, because honestly, you've got a distasteful trait, and it's toxic, and I'm telling all my musubi. Here's Jacob's toxic trait. Jacob always has some fucking useless shit to say. This is exactly what I tell Jacob, and I was very clear. I'm going to Oahu, my brother lives there, and I'm visiting him. And Jacob goes, huh, why Oahu? And like I said, he's always got something useless to say, so I was ready for something, right? And so I was a little bit of like frustrated because I just told you why Oahu. My brother lives there, and that's all. But I'm patient, right? So I give him another chance. So I say, well, that's where his base is. He's stationed there, so he lives there. So that's where I'm going. I'm going to Oahu. And do you know when you're like telling someone that you're going somewhere and they're telling you that you got to try all these places out just to show you that they know about those places? Right? Jacob goes, oh, Oahu's pretty good, but you should go to fucking Wang Pang or whatever. He started like making up Hawaiian Islands. I was like, that's fake, right? You totally made that up right in front of me. But it sounded more Hawaiian than Wang Pang. And I was like, I wonder if he knows what he's doing. He must know what he's doing. I told him I'm going to Oahu. He asked me why. I told him why. And then I told him why again. Right? I'm getting very upset remembering this. Why did he just tell me to go someplace else? Right? So I kind of laid into him a little bit, but only halfway. Refrain from violent behavior. Remember? Okay, so he goes, oh, you should go to Wang Pang. So I was like, oh, yeah. So you didn't just hear me say that my brother lives in Oahu and that's why I'm going to Oahu? Or why did you say that? I just felt all the aloha leave my body, dude, just remembering this thing with Jacob 2 weeks ago. But it pissed me right off, right? Because he started naming Hawaiian places so that I knew that he knew about Hawaiian places. So I gave him one more chance, dude. I gave him one more chance to either, give me Oahu recommendations just for Oahu or say nothing. And all Jacob says is, well, maybe you could meet in Wang Pang. And then he started naming other places. Ding Dang, right? Ding Dang is great too. It's only an hour away. You could practically swim there. Just starts naming these places. And I popped off, dude. I was like, we're going to Oahu. We're not going to Wang Pang or Ding Dang or Bing Bang. Listen to my words, digest them for a single, GIF before you just say the words that you had planned just because you planned them. I'm not going to Wang Pang because that's where my brother isn't, right? If the mission is to see my brother, I can only go to where my brother is. Otherwise, I fail the mission. And I'm not going to call my brother and say, hey, so I know you live in Oahu, and that's where your base is. But could you call the Air Force and get them to move the base to Wingding so that you can move to Wingding, and then we'll visit you halfway between Oahu and Wingding at Ping Ping. My friend Jacob said. I got no love, and I got no love for that guy. I gotta be honest, dude. I lost all my aloha just remembering this conversation. I mean, it's really a wonder how I didn't toss him an active grenade and just fucking disappear, dude. That's how fucking angry I was. I probably didn't want to go to prison before I went to not Wingding, right? That's the only reason that guy is still alive. Jacob, if you're watching this, fuck you. I've got no chill because of you. I don't care what the other islands have to offer is what I'm getting to. I only ever have to travel to Oahu. I never need to travel to another paradise place. Right? I really miss my brother. That's honestly most of it. I can't tell you how good it was to see him. He's stationed over there, like I mentioned, to Jacob 11 and a half fucking times. Right? Nothing like not seeing your brother for over a year and then seeing him, dude. I'm on my way soon. Dude, if you're listening to this, I'm saving up. Bet your ass I'll be there within 10 months. Also bet your ass I'm coming back with 2 checked bags full of musubi, dude. From the ABC store. I don't know if you've ever been to Hawaii, but they got this thing called the ABC store, and it's like Hawaii's fucking corner store / Target / gas station / wherever you sell fucking these. Look at this. I got a musubi. He's maybe dead. But you want to see something else? He also has an asshole. It's got a little asshole. Why does he have an asshole? Crazy. It doesn't get better than breakfast musubi, dude, honestly. Spam, eggs, seaweed. I mean, there's no eggs. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any with eggs, so that sucked. But another thing, dude, about LAX, because that's where we flew in and out of, was I didn't know this about LAX, but however big you think LAX is, add another 40-minute jaunt from one end of LAX to another end that you didn't know exists, and I think it's underground. I think it's underground because the place that is maybe underground seems bigger than actual LAX. And you walk through this, like, the biggest, bluest tunnel you've ever seen. And I don't want to get hung up on how big and blue this fucking tunnel is, but this is not an exaggeration. I thought a lot about this. You could fly a Skyvan in and out of that tunnel with ease with about 8 weeks of experience. Airplanes. Aeroplanes. Oh, of course. Airplanes, right? I haven't flown that much. I've got about 15 trips in my life, 30 flights there and back, maybe. I think that's about right. That seems probably right. I got to get my numbers up, dude. I got to get my comedian up so that I can bolster the flight numbers, right? But let's leave my dreams out of this for a second. Of the 15 flights, of the 30 theres and backs I've had, why is it that Hawaiian Airlines is the only truly fancy commercial airline? Like fancy. Where like the whole plane's fancy. Not just like the dicks up front who die first in a plane crash. I like that. Right? First class dies first. That aside. Dude, Hawaiian Airlines, they have wood plank floors on an airplane. From like front to back. Not just first class, not just like where the Kennedys are up front. And I asked my girlfriend, I was like, how come every airline isn't like this? Right? And she goes, well, Hawaiian Airlines, this is kind of their thing. And I was like, yeah, but why can't this be everyone's thing? Airplanes aren't a new thing. Let's upgrade the things. Let's upgrade the furniture, for instance. Every airline should have a thing that's cool. Reclining seats that don't recline are not cool. The buttons on the side of the armrest that don't go up and down. The armrests don't go up and down, and the buttons don't do anything when you push them. That's not cool. Make something happen when you push that button. It doesn't have to be crazy. I don't need like a morphine drip coming out of my airplane seat. Just make it to where you push the button and you make a game out of it. Like if you push it at the exact right time, the hottest person on the flight has to come sit next to you. I think that's fun. If I had an airline, that'd be my thing. All I'm saying, dude, is I spent $600 once to go to Oklahoma City with American. American Airlines can't have a thing for $600. I don't buy it, dude. Hawaii cannot be the only sick airline. Even Delta first class is not as nice as Hawaiian coach. Because all you get with Delta first class is honestly, you get a seat that looks like it was ripped out of a fucking Kate Spade space shuttle. And that's pretty cool. But other than that, it's pretty regular, right? The lighting is a little cooler. But then there's Hawaiian, dude. Ohana Airlines. Every seat is fancy. Every drink is nice. Complimentary sandwich and a sweet treat before landing. That's what they call it, a sweet treat. They were like, we're going to pass out our sweet treats. And I was like, fuck yeah, you are. How much are they? Oh, they're They're free. And I was like, oh. I see. This is what it's like to be fulfilled. Do you know what I mean? I keep inching away from this microphone and I'm afraid that you're not gonna, I just want everything to be perfect for you guys. Do you know what I mean? All the stewards have like flowers in their hair, dressed all sexy. The pre-flight instructions even are like islandy.
There are 8 emergency exits on this aircraft that are marked with an exit sign.
It's crazy. Okay, that's too much talk about the airplane. We got off the plane and Daniel greeted us with Lay's, like a true Hawaiian local. And that was cool. It's good to see that guy for real. It sucks not seeing. Oh man, I don't know. But it's interesting because I kind of forgot about how peaceful like a place could be. Right? If there's a place with more peace than Oahu, I'll keep my distance, man. I can't take much more peace than Oahu. I'll pop out the other side and go fucking cheese and crackers. You know what I mean? Because I actually feel safer when there's some like modicum of like active threat in my general vicinity. I feel good. Right? Like a young man should. I know I'm not alone on this. Certain levels of peace, it's just, what are we doing? Someone shoot something. Just walking around with this sneaking suspicion that like someone around you is ill-intentioned. You know what I mean? And like likely dangerous at all times of the day. It's a mindset that doesn't easily transfer to paradise. Right? You can't just get rid of all of that. And I thought a lot about this. You either become the dangerous one or you're just too wound up to be around. And I've had years and years to try to deal with that. So I'm trying to find some place to dismount here because I'm done talking and I want this podcast to be over. But I guess my point is like you take a Oahu level piece and you turn it up about 4%, I'm going cheese and crackers and jelly beans, dude. I'm going cheese and crackers, grilled cheese and jelly beans. But my point is, I hadn't been to Oahu in almost 20 years. And I had to do that math. Someone at a cookie kiosk asked us when the last time we were there, and I was like, that can't be right. And I was like, no, 20 years. And then I was like, but I'm not even 20. And then I was like, oh, I'm 29. And I almost shit in my pockets. Saying 20 years ago about anything and remembering the thing that you're talking about, it made me want to write a book, dude. On the ground, in front of the cookie kiosk, that's how long I've lived. I almost turned to Rachel and I was like, hey, no, I know. We're on vacation, but I was here 20 years ago and I remember it. So this makes me feel very weird and bad. And I have to write a book. And I'm sorry, but enjoy Hawaii. I'm going to write a book here on the ground in front of the cookie kiosk. It would be a good book too, dude. I would write a very good book. It wouldn't be that good to like a 50-year-old who's read more and also seen some shit. But boy, could I blow away a 16-year-old who thinks he's cracked the code. You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't tell me anything when I was 16 either, but I'll write a chapter on suicide that'll blow the dick right off your body, dude. I figured some stuff out. And that kid would read it and go like, wow, my dick flew off my balls. This guy is 29. That's so stupid. Anyway, I forgot how peaceful it was there, right? Because the last time I went, I was 9 years old. So I didn't really have the context I have now. In fact, I mean, obviously I didn't. The worst thing that had happened to me up to that point was, you know, I watched my neighbor Richie throw a football point blank at a cat. Very hard. Like, dude, so hard. It was really remarkable. And he was, God, makes me sad. I never wanted to kill a person till I was 9 years old. And I was like, oh, I want to kill you. I want to kill this guy, but I'm too small. He was probably like 16 years old, but he was big. And I was 9 and I was small. But I went to Hawaii this time and I'd lived some life, right? Richie and the cat moved down so far on the list of bad shit that has happened. I went to Hawaii and I could appreciate aloha, right? The presence of breath. I could appreciate it, man. And glad I went. Thanks to the people who made it happen. And it was good. Big thanks. What else about Hawaii? Okay. The number of times I got called cousin, I mean, remarkable. Everything is cousin there. Everything's brother or cousin. Ohana means family in Hawaii, dude. I forgot how much Ohana means family. It's enough to make me move there, dude. I told Rachel too. I was like, if I could find 3 open mics, 2 or 3 clubs, $180,000 and 4 special people to bring to Hawaii, I'm moving to Hawaii. 2 or 3 times too when we were there, I caught her right-handed. She was like, yeah, I could really see myself here. Or like, you know, this place is really chill and I feel like I'm really chill. And I was like, okay, play it cool. If she brings it up 7 or 11 more times, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about talking about it. And hasn't brought it up since, dude. Might move to Hawaii alone. The one thing I couldn't get out of my head, though, was even though it'd be very cool to play club baseball with my brother, that'd be so sick. We haven't done that before. The one thing that kept coming up was comedy, right? I don't know how comedy would do in Hawaii. And I thought about it a lot. I think everything might be too chill for stand-up in Oahu. Because I've heard very big comedians say it's local humor, and I don't like the sound of that. Dude, this will come as no surprise, but the beaches are bananas. The beaches are bananas. The beaches are Gwen, Stephanie. That's so dumb, dude. I need to dismount, man. Let's get off this fucking podcast. Okay, this is the last thing I'll say. We went to one beach, and I don't want to blow this lady's spot up because I know there are a couple creepy lurkers in this audience of the spam and eggers, dude, and a little horn dog musubis. Harmless, but horn dog. nonetheless. I'm telling you right now, dude, don't go looking for this young woman, but if you do, she's the most tropical goddess you've ever seen, right? Not as good as my girl, to be sure. Let's get that right out of the way. But this girl did look like her name was either all vowels or doggy style, honestly. Stacked to the gills, this girl was. Could wear a bikini with the rest of them, right? It was like when you look toward the sun, not even at it, just toward it for like 2 seconds, and then you close your eyes and you get the little sun squiggles, right? You try to chase them around to try to gather them back up and stick them where they belong. But now they're just like sort of dead pixels now. That'll never recharge. You never get them back, just to teach you not to look at the sun. And I was like, wow. I looked at her and I was like, man, that was not worth it. Because now I need surgery. Also, though, she was as bronzed up as a person can get, dude. And if you don't really see that a lot, you kind of have to stare. You kind of have to stare to begin with. Because it's very strange for a person to be bronze. You're not supposed to be bronze. The girl looked like she was born in a mythical jungle structurally. But she also looked like she'd never been inside. Do you know what I mean? Like a copper cup, this girl. You know? You know when you can look at a person, you could like tell their natural color. Like, this girl's black. This one's white. This one's copper. No ethnicity is copper. Not a real color, too much sun. But I did have this girl clocked from the second I saw her, too. Sometimes you could just figure someone out. And I was like, damn, this girl's got a story, and I know exactly what it is. Here's the story. Born in New Jersey, graduated high school 2017. Took a gap year to find herself. Moved to Delaware Bay. Didn't find herself at all, just found, dirty water. Decided she didn't move far enough. Overcorrected. Signed up for a community college in Hawaii. Step off the plane onto a beach. Didn't think it was possible to get this wet in your vagina looking at an ocean this green and blue. Tossed her bags into the Pacific. Dropped out of college. Bought a dog. Bought a surfboard. Never went back inside. That was her story. 8 months later, she's the color of copper cups. She changed her name to Nature. Used to be Tiffany. And then named her dog Doggy Style. Ooh, dude, that was a callback. Did I say Doggy Style already? Oh, this podcast was too long. I watched her surf with the dog, dude, and I was like, man, what else do you need? Just to be gorgeous, live on the beach with a dog, fucking surf with him. Be in the sun for 30 years. Right? Get carcinoma. Perish in the sand. And then return to the ocean from whence you came. I like the sound of perish in the sand. Perish in the sand. Perish with an A, right? Like 6 priests just fucking praying and shit. putting on lotion on each other. Confessing. You know what I mean? These levels were way too low, dude, and I am worried about it. I had a guy ask me if I knew Jesus on the beach once, and this is not a joke. I was in the ocean. And it's like, dude, what is it with people being sneaky with religion? You know? Like, don't try to be slick with it, dude. Ask me right away if I know Jesus. That way I know what's up. That way I know your intentions. I can either stick around willingly or I can get out of there. You can't just get out of the ocean. You can't just pop out of it. Too loud. You got to swim away, right? And you can't just swim away regular, because the person who asked you if you know Jesus in the middle of the ocean is a crazy person. I felt like he was a sneaky dude and I was like the chick, except, you know, instead of some like over the pants action, the ulterior motive is scripture and like trying to get me into heaven and shit. And it's like, dude, you can't trick people into getting to heaven. I hope there's no heaven. That seems like a good place to end. I hope there's no heaven. All right, man. Fuck this. Thanks for listening to the Spam and Eggs podcast. Here's the new studio. Remember the Dojo Kun? Remember to get the message to Lenny Kravitz, and thanks for pissing in my cup. Roll credits.
I'm a motherfucking nasty boss. What's good, bitch? You know what it is. Face down, ass up while I handle my biz.